So we're down in Corydon, Indiana today with Tad Streepy with Gypsy Rain Organics, and he just does some really, really cool stuff on his farm, and I see it just getting even bigger and better. So I'm going to let him do his farm tour and tell you all about him and his story.
Hey everybody, I'm Tad. So I started this journey. Well, I actually tell people I started when I was born because I grew up on a homestead, and my parents, built their own house and everything. Grew up on goat's milk, all that good stuff. But it kind of carried over into adulthood, and just loved the lifestyle and that kind of thing. And whenever this farm came up for sale, that was right next to my parents' farm, me and my wife knew that we had to jump on it. And whenever we first bought it, I had a normal office job, working 9 to 5, but knew I wanted to do something with the farm at some point. And whenever COVID hit, my youngest was born. They, scaled back all my hours, and I was working very little. And I was like, well, it's as good a time as any to, do this thing. So that was when I LLC'd. And so this is our third growing season, and it's been a pretty wild ride. It's been kind of scary and really eye-opening because the response has been so great, and I really didn't. That first year, I was kind of kicking myself in the butt because of everything that was going on. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work or what's gonna happen. But after that, it really started to take off, and people started to see who we were and what we did, and it's grows exponentially every year now, and it's a lot of fun.
and it will continue to grow because more and more people understand how detrimental pesticides are.
Yeah.
Pesticides and genetically engineered food.
Yep.
It's not real. It's not real, and it's disease promoting.
Yeah.
And unless you live under a rock, then everybody should know that by now.
Right. And that's that was one of the big, I guess, catalysts once we bought this farm. My stepdaughter, she'll be 13 this year. When we bought the farm, she was 7. The second year after we bought it, she started breaking out, and we thought it was some kind of skin rash or something. Took her to the dermatologist, and the doctors told us that she was already in pre-puberty.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously we eat a lot of good stuff and everything, but whenever she goes to, and it's not their fault or anything like that, but all this crap that's in our food that we eat every day. And he said, yeah, the doctor said if she would have been a year younger, which a kid at 6 going through pre-puberty, it's crazy. So that was a big one. And then just a lot of health issues that I was seeing with a lot of different people that are close to us. And I had a buddy that actually, he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and completely healed himself with just the foods that he ate.
Happens all the time. Food is our medicine.
Yeah. And a big part of it was grapeseed.
Yeah. Oh, amazing compounds in there.
So it kind of stemmed a lot of it from that, and a lot of it that I'm starting to go to now is a lot more medicinal. This garden here is actually one of 5 gardens, and it's going to slowly start transitioning into our medicinal garden and a lot less of the everyday vegetables and whatnot, because we want to get into growing stuff from ashwagandha to feverfew to cowslip, all the
He's already growing a lot of really cool medicinal herbs.
Well, and a lot of stuff that I don't even know that's medicinal that Karen has been telling me about. That it's crazy how much is out there that is medicinal that you don't even know about. Even if you're trying to learn about it, you still every day I'm learning something new.
Well, you never stop learning.
Right.
Ever
Right.
in that world. But so all of our local herb nerd friends, it's amazing because Tad is growing in will continue to grow so many amazing foods and herbs, things that like if we don't have access to, we usually have to order from Mountain Rose Herbs or Red Moon Herbals or somewhere different, and then he'll actually have it here in our state, local. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty exciting. And you know, like I was telling you earlier, our biggest thing, our big problem now is we just grew so fast that, and I wasn't really prepared for it. And I've done everything I can to not borrow money.
Yes.
And gonna continue to try to do that. So it's taken us a little bit longer to get the infrastructure that we need, and to really do a lot more of the medicinals, and you know, making the tinctures and the powders, and you know, getting all that stuff going. But yeah, I mean, you know, and we're doing some stuff like we do. Obviously, we do the beet powder.
Yes.
And then even doing stuff like the maple syrup and the maple sugar. You know, that's you know, I'm feeding that to my bees, and they love it.
So something, I study wild foods every year with Sam Thayer up in Wisconsin and his team of people, and it was so cool because I did not know that the latest research is showing real, not grocery store stuff, people, but real maple syrup and real maple sugar is so high in enzymatic action that it is actually stabilizing blood sugar levels. So it's become a beautiful food source full of minerals and vitamins that also helps to regulate insulin levels. So it's safe for type 2 diabetics.
Yeah, and all our, you know, the sugar and syrup that we do, it's me and an Amish friend. He has a contract with a farmer close to Salem, and he's got like 150 acres of nothing but sugar maples.
Cool.
So he usually processes somewhere around 2,000 gallons of and that's already processed syrup. So that's, you know, we're processing it. It's about a 10-to-1 ratio. So for every 10 gallons of raw sap, you get about a gallon of syrup.
So amazing. Like, why does anybody buy that fake stuff from a grocery store?
It's just burnt sugar.
Oh, it's a chemical shitstorm is what it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh. So, well, do you want to show us something?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, this is kind of our showpiece garden. This is the one that I've had going for the longest. It's kind of where I started our first year. It was just this garden. Then we went to 3 gardens the next year, and then this year we got 5. Next year we'll have 7 plots. But this is our most established one, and so this is where I grow a lot of the fun stuff. Like there's 2 different kinds of basil here.
Oh, so good.
So this is a blue spice basil, and then that's lemon basil,
which is one of my favorites. It's so good to make pesto out of.
And I like letting it flower some, just because I like the flowers, and the bees go. Any pollinator loves it.
Oh yeah, look at the sweet little bumbles. Beautiful mixture here.
And then we grow a lot of stuff just for help the garden. Like these marigolds are just, I mean, not only are they beautiful, but they're really good to help keep nasty pests away from other stuff, because they don't like the smell of marigolds.
Absolutely, natural herbicides.
Yeah.
Natural pest resistance.
A lot of people will probably recognize that. That's nasturtium.
They should recognize it. It's highly medicinal. Look at your dahlias. Dahlia flowers are totally edible too. They're just so pretty. I don't know why anybody would want to eat them.
Right. So that was always kind of like the nasturtium flower. It was always so, but it looks so nice in a salad at the same time. the first year we tried to grow that. Another one that I just found out about or just read about and was like, hey, let's try this. This sounds really cool. A plant that acts like Novocaine.
Oh my gosh, here. Okay. Okay, here, I'm coming in here with Cody because at the apothecary, I use this for teething babies. I use it for any type of sore throat because it numbs those mucous membranes. And I also use it as an antifungal for both internal and external. And as we were over here talking about this beautiful plant, Cody, go ahead and tell them your story of how you used it.
So my newborn baby just started teething recently, and we decided that there was something that we needed to do. We don't trust a whole lot of medicines and stuff, especially with the baby, so we decided to go the natural route, and I took some of the toothache plants, soaked it in Everclear, and then gave her just a tiny drop. She was a completely different baby.
Yeah, you put it right on that gum, and it just numbs, and it makes them not fussy, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, much healthier way. Because when you're teething, they're inflamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're teething, that's where babies can get fevers and congestion. And guess what? Spilanthes takes away the pain and helps to support their immune system. So, yay! And this is Cody. He helps with all the Instagram and the website.
Yeah, I helped build the website. I helped tat at all the markets and everything like that.
Cody wears quite a few hats.
Yeah.
Then we grow a pink jang.
It's just so medicinal.
Yeah, this was the first year I ever saw it grow, so like seeing it grow vertically like that, I was very surprised.
Isn't it so pretty? So I don't like to eat okra.
Right?
I don't like it, but it's so medicinal for people with acid reflux, stomach ulcers.
Yeah.
I use it topically,
Really?
dry. Well, that slime, that mucilage that's in it is what is so healing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, cause I know that's what for stomach issues because it coats the
Yep.
inside of your stomach and
Totally coats it. I did a video on how to make your own in bug bite and sunburn formula.
right.
So I'll take this and soak it in like big 32 ounces of apple cider vinegar, and then when I go to strain it, the vinegar is slimy.
Oh wow.
And then you put that on your skin on a burn or inflamed bites or rashes, and it feels amazing. But for people who don't like to eat it, you can buy it from Tad for other reasons.
Right. Yeah, and then we've started playing around a lot more with trellising and different stuff that we can trellis. We've started growing a lot of different stuff on the trellises that we haven't grown before, like long beans, Mexican sour gherkins, wing beans. Our wing beans haven't started producing yet, but they're close. But yeah, it makes it really easy on the trellis to go through and pick your beans because
God, it's
they just kind of
gorgeous.
hang out up there and come through and pick them like grapes.
It's so pretty. Is that some parsley?
This?
Yeah, what is
That's
it?
carrot flower.
Oh, those are carrots over there. Same thing.
Well, no, they call it carrot flower.
Okay.
I think it's, if you taste it, it tastes like black licorice.
Ooh.
I actually mistook it for
Like a fennel?
like fennel, or I mistook it for dill when it was
Oh.
smaller, and it's got a real licorice taste to it.
Oh my gosh, I don't even like licorice, and
I know.
that's outstanding.
You think it has a carminative
Oh yeah.
action to it? Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
grow it because it's a really good house for beneficial wasps.
Yeah.
Beneficial wasps love it. They make their houses in it, and the wasps take care of a lot of the worms that wreak havoc on the garden.
Oh man, that tastes good.
Basil is one of my favorite herbs,
Uh-huh.
but this is another one, cinnamon basil.
It's like what came
Grow, I think we did 5 different kinds of basil this year. No,
Beautiful.
we've got 6 different. So we've got African blue basil, blue spice, cinnamon, lemon.
What all do you do with it yourself?
So it's mostly we use it to go in the CSA boxes.
So how far is your other? So this is your other 4 gardens?
No, so there's one right over here,
Where all the orange and the trellises are.
Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
and then this is the old farmhouse. So this is part of our property too. And on the other side of the farmhouse is our potato garden,
We should take them out there to see that too.
where we've got our potatoes, sweet potatoes, and
Oh, nice.
then on the other side of the train here, and we can kind of drive out there.
Yeah.
But if you look through the train, you can see all the tomatoes out there.
You
So
start
this
eating
field-
your tomato leaves, you'll never stop.
Yeah. So this field we just recently bought a couple years ago, and this is where our market's going to go, and a lot more greenhouses, a lot more garden plots. That's where our berry production is going to start.
Oh man, so cool.
So when we come back to visit, it's gonna look different.
Oh yeah.
We need more and more people growing nutritious food. That's how you beat the system of people being
Yeah.
sick. You eat real food.
It's I think and I hope that people are really coming around and understanding how broken our food system is, and how actually not just I don't even want to say unhealthy, but I mean almost detrimental to your health. Most of the food is in grocery stores now.
100%. Even organic.
Yeah.
That's just pesticide
Oh yeah.
free.
Well, and that's the thing. The government took over the whole organic scene and watered down the term so much that
Is it
that-
really?
Is it really organic? Probably not, because I mean you can call something organic that's never even been in soil before.
Absolutely.
And it's ridiculous.
It all
to me.
comes down to what fed the food that's feeding you.
Right.
I love
Exactly.
that book. I love that book. It's amazing. If you've never read it, it's so awesome. All the tomatoes. I don't know how anybody can ever eat a tomato in January.
Right? No, we go into hibernation when it comes to tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anybody that's ever had a right off the vine, pesticide free heirloom tomato, there's no way you could ever go back to eating store bought hothouse tomatoes. Here's your bitter melons.
Oh, here we go. Here's the bitter melons. Our friends Crystal and Jess grew these one year,
Yeah.
and they are definitely bitter. Now, I usually would tincture them and add them to blends to help support people who battle with insulin resistance.
Right.
Now, not type 1 diabetic, but insulin resistant type 2. But the way that when I saw Tad was growing these, I freaked out. They have a beautiful chemistry inside of them that really helps to support. So that's what plants and foods do, right? They nourish and they support. And this particular plant helps to regulate insulin levels. That's what it does through nourishing and supporting. Whether your body needs excess insulin or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it needs to help lower it. So we're gonna pickle some today. Pickle, okay, with this beautiful, beautiful bitter melon. Aren't they cool? They're just so cool. But in this mason jar, I already have some distilled water. I like to use distilled water, obviously, because it doesn't have any junk in it. But also, you know, water is seeking minerals. Right. So whenever you're using any type of a distilled water with plants, you're going to absorb more minerals, right? So, but with this, we're just going to do a basic. So Tad has so many beautiful basils here. So we have so many amazing tasting and smelling basils. And of course, you know, you want to put your oak leaves and things when you're pickling.
What's the oak leaf do?
So what it does, it's really high in tannins.
Tannins?
So
Okay.
it keeps it crisper.
Right.
So it keeps crisp
Okay.
longer. Like you wouldn't want to put something like,
Because see, we
especially if
do
you're pickling
grape leaves.
yes, anything with tannins.
Okay.
Grape leaves, blackberry leaves, raspberry leaves. Any leaf that's edible with high tannins is going to be great.
Right.
I asked them, I'm like, do you have any oak leaves? And then I use my skins because they're just so high in nutrients. And then so we're just going to do some garlic. Some garlic in there. And then let this sit for about 4 to 6 weeks. I like to do countertop, but you can put it in your fridge if you want. Again, with onion, you want to use your skins too, because you really don't want to discard those nutrients. I think it was Chase talking about, he didn't know that the skins had a lot of nutrients in them. And
Right.
they do, like you were talking about.
Yeah, that's
You know,
whenever we make our beet powder, we don't skin the beets.
Mm-mm.
We wash them off real good with kind of like a hard bristled brush, just to get all the excess dirt off and everything. But yeah, there's so much more nutrition in the skin than the actual
So much.
fruit itself.
And I just geeked when he was doing his beetroot powder because it kills me whenever you see, I love cake. Oh, people are like, you eat sugar? I'm like, yes.
Right.
I just have to know where it came from.
Right.
And we were at a wedding and they had red velvet cake and I wouldn't touch it because it had red dye all in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so many, look how cool that is. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. So we're just going to slice the whole thing.
Oh, so you put the seeds in there and everything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a lot of nutrients in those seeds. Because then if you don't want to eat them, you can spit them out. You know, like you don't have to eat them. But at least that way you're pickling the nutrients in it. I love pickling. It's just such a great way to get, to get minerals in your body. And it's easy for our body to absorb vitamins. It's harder for us to get the minerals we need, as you know, because you're a farmer.
Right. Well, and we do a lot of sauerkraut.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only do we just love it in general, but I mean the gut health that it helps you with is
Outstanding.
amazing.
Brian's our kraut maker. He does all our sourdoughs, all of our pastas, all of it. But if you didn't want to put the seeds in there, you wouldn't have to. I'm very much a folk recipe type person, so I try to absorb as many nutrients as I can.
That you can.
But some people don't like that. To me, I just do it like I would a cucumber.
Right.
I don't take my cucumber skins off, and I don't take the seeds out either.
Right.
Man, you should try making some kraut out of these and see what happens. See how you could play with that
Wow.
flavor
Right.
on that. It'd be fascinating. Tad can come up with all the cool things to do with it. So again, a lot of times with pickling, I'll use like a normal white vinegar, always in glass. Okay, so vinegar is a solvent. So you don't really want your vinegars ever in plastic, or you're absorbing all those petrochemicals from the plastic. But the reason why I'm using apple cider vinegar for this for this particular recipe is because the enzymes in apple cider vinegar also help to support insulin.
Oh, okay.
So then you've got all those vitamins and those minerals inside of. Oh, that's gonna taste so good. Inside of that basil, especially that vitamin K and those essential oils. And you've got those allium plants that are just your garlic and your onion, which are antihistamine. They're just antiviral. They're just everything. Like you could put nasturtium leaves in here and flowers.
Right.
And then the bitter melon with the apple cider vinegar. And I already had salt in here too.
Okay.
So I put some Celtic sea salt in there for those added minerals.
My wife was just talking about Celtic salt. She's just recently discovered Celtic salt.
Yeah.
Because we usually use the Himalayan
Yeah.
salt. But she's like, Celtic salt is just that next step
Yeah.
better
Absolutely.
than Himalayan salt.
So isn't that pretty? So that way, how pretty that is. Tad can let that sit on his counter for a few weeks and then start enjoying it. And that way you can have bitter melon as a beautiful food as medicine without it tasting so bitter.
That's awesome.
I know. It's super fun.